Hello and welcome to 6 Degrees of Feature Film. I'm Clara, also known as Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I am Death, also known as
Oh,
Stacey Howard. I'm
wow.
I'm the Grim Reaper. I
That
am
went
Death
real south, real
from
quick.
one of our time travel movies today, because that's what we're talking about.
That is what we're talking about. We're going to be
Woo!
talking about time travel films. We are not taking one film and showing how 6 other films link up to it. We're just going to take one topic and show how 6/7 films link up to that topic. That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
That's what's happening
we're not gonna make it too
today.
complicated.
No,
Nobody has time for complicated.
just keep it simple.
Keep it cash.
Maybe I should turn this light off.
Keep it in cash. Maybe there. That
That's
looks
probably better. That's
Yeah.
better. Okay. How's
That's
everyone today? How are you, Stacey? What's going on? What's your life? What's happening?
Life is as usual busy and chaotic. I have off work today, thankfully,
Okay.
so I'm gonna record this. Then I'm gonna go do the other job, meet up with those peeps,
Okay.
do some things, plan some things. We got some partnerships going on with.
So you have off work on one job.
I work off of one job, but not the other job. But that's what the job that I like and want to do every day.
Yes.
So I don't consider it work really.
And right now that one's part-time.
That one's part-time.
And we want it to be
We
full-time.
want it to be full-time, but they gave me more hours because I'm doing better.
Oh.
We have partnerships with like Stardust. That's the Stardust app. If you guys haven't used that to do reactions and stuff, it's really fun with Movie Pass, all kinds of fun things.
And this is Arena Cine Lounge.
This is Arena Cine Lounge. Indie theater on Sunset Boulevard. We take Movie Pass. We show lots of cool films. I just got to meet Lynn Shay and Peter Bogdanovich.
Whoa.
Legends of the silver screen. Lynn Shay, you guys know from Insidious, Kingpin, so many fun things. Peter Bogdanovich, of course, is a legendary director from The Last Picture Show and
all the classics.
What's the other one?
All of them.
Paper Moon. Excuse me. So cool things. Yeah. How's your life? What's going on? Are you good? Are you stressed but busy in the good things, or what?
Stressed but busy. Yeah, got a lot going on. Got a lot on my calendar, a lot on the to-do list.
Good.
We have a live event that I'm going to tomorrow. You aren't going to be there though.
I can't.
I'm
I
sad.
gotta work.
It's the live Schmodown tomorrow in North Hollywood, which I'll be at. Stacey will not be at, and that makes me sad.
I can't be there. I gotta get rid of this other job so then I can be to more things. That's the goal, you guys. That's the
goal.
I'm trying.
Get down to one job, the job that we want.
One job, the job that we want. It's gonna happen soon because I'm doing really well and they praise me every day. So
excellent.
I'm working hard at it.
I'm waiting for it to happen where they're like, Stacey, we cannot live without you. How can I live without you? I want to know. That's how it's gonna go.
Whenever I hear the song, I always think of The Sweetest Thing, when they're all she's stuck on his piercing on his pee-pee, and everyone comes in and they're all singing to like loosen up her vocal cords or whatever, and the cop and then like, how do I breathe without you? What? Yeah.
Wow, I gotta rewatch that movie. Didn't realize how vulgar it got.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That movie, if you watch it on like TBS or something, they edit everything out.
Right.
It is raunchy, nasty humor, you guys. She gets poked in the eye by looking through a glory hole. Like, it is very, very risque. Do you guys know what
the only thing I remember about The Sweetest Thing is when she's like in the dressing room and she's like pulling up her bra and she's like 22, 28. 22, 28. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she's like, hello, what's this? What's this? Every woman has done that with their friends in the bathroom. Look at my butt.
Maybe.
It used to be saggy, or it used to be tight. Now it's saggy.
Aging. What do you know? All right, let's talk about going through ages with some films that are time travel films. We're going to start with Back to the Future 3. Now, I can't remember if we have talked about this on this show already. I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think we talked about 1 and 2, but not 3.
Yes. I feel like we were waiting for our third year to talk about 3 because our first episode was Back to the Future. Then a year later, we did Back to the Future 2 with Mark Ellis. And then we were thinking maybe on the third year we'll do 3, but we're going to do it now.
We're doing
it now. Hey, Back to the Future 3, which, okay, if you're going to rate the Back to the Future series, where would you put in order? Where would you put 3?
Oh man. I mean, I guess I'd go 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Like favorite. They're all amazing. Ben is shaking his head in disdace.
Doesn't matter what Ben thinks.
But yeah, I just think I think I remember the other two better. But 3 is, I know, holds a special place in your heart.
3 was the first one I think I saw. Well, the first one I saw in theaters. I saw the first one, and then I saw 3, and then I saw 2. So that's the order that I like them in, 1, 3, 2. And the reason why I don't like 2 as much, and we talked about this before, is because I feel like it's trying to do too much. And I really do like the overlap in 1955 at the end. I thought that really came together, and that was a part that I enjoyed. But I just felt like everything else was just so rushed and like, I don't know. But anyways, enough about 2. I'm talking about 3, which is where we meet the love interest of Doc Brown, which is kind of fun. He finally has someone.
I loved that. I loved their instant attraction. I loved how sweet and genuine she was and how they had just really good chemistry. I like when old people find love in movies. Doesn't always have to be the young things, hot young things running around, having little makeout sessions. Like, why can't like a 62-year-old find love at a Luby's? You know what I mean?
Now, I don't think he's 62, nor do I think she is. But how old are they in this film?
In movie and in life, I like when older people find love.
It's true. It is nice. It is nice. Just like shoot, I'm thinking of that movie with Jack Nicholson and Something's Gotta Give.
Something's Gotta Give.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie. That's a great movie.
With her turtlenecks, you guys. If that's not sexy, I don't know what is.
I can't get this off. Just cut it. Just cut it. So anyways, Back to the Future 3, I also appreciate that it is his story. I think this is the first time that we get kind of Doc Brown's story as the forefront, whereas before it was Marty, which makes sense because Marty is the main character of the entire movie. Yeah, what else do I like? I always like in all the Back to the Futures that Biff Tannen is always the bad guy, like every single time, and it's always the same actor, and I just love that they do that they carry him throughout. And same with, Marty playing the older himself and things like that. And Seamus.
Seamus McFly. Is it Back to the Future 2 when he plays his own sister?
Yes, he does.
When he comes down those stairs and goes, "Mom!" in his face with a wig, I went, "Ah!" I literally screamed because I didn't know that he played that. And these movies are older, so they're, nostalgic, and obviously a lot of people know the moments. I did not know that he played the sister. So I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
It was so funny to me.
And the brother.
And the brother.
And the older him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a Nutty Professor situation. Here's one thing that I realized, I think last night. And I was like, why didn't I realize this before?
What?
What year did Back to the Future release in theaters?
85?
Yes. And why is it 85? Like, why do you remember it as 85?
I don't know. I just know it.
Because in the movie, they start in 1985. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I never put that together? We're starting in 1985, and the year is 1985. When it was released.
We remember it more because they say it in the film?
Yeah, because it's like part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's part of the movie that the year is 1985. And so I was like, why didn't I put that together ever? I don't know. Why didn't I put together that the release date year is the same as the year that we're starting in?
I feel like they never do that in movies because I guess they want them to
be timeless.
But in this, it's all about time and the year. And, they want you to live in the present and feel like you're going back and forth. And they want you to feel it as the present and the past. So, yeah.
Anyways, that just blew my mind because I was like, why did I never put it together? Why didn't I think of that? Oh, gosh. I feel so ridiculous. Do we want to continue on Back to the Future 3 or do we want to go to more time travel-esque movies?
Because Back to the Future 3, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a feel-good time.
It is a feel-good time.
It's a good old Western time travel sci-fi comedy classic movie.
I love how they dress him, how he gets dressed. I love that his name is Clint Eastwood. I love that he, by saving the teacher, like changed the history. And luckily that didn't do too much of a butterfly effect. Speaking of a butterfly effect.
Oh boy.
we both wrote down kind of a list of just time travel movies that we wanted to talk about, and on both of our list is The Butterfly Effect, which is with Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart. Now we're doing this kind of differently too. We just wrote down a list. We didn't like write down all the specifics about the films and who directed them and what year they came out and things like that. Because this is just about like what the movie is about and the crux of it.
I remember I loved all the different scenarios in this film because they basically are like, this is what would happen if you did this. So it gives you like alternate realities basically. And each one is different. And I was really disturbed by the alternate reality where Amy Smart was like a prostitute and how her past and her father like messing with her and stuff really like affected her later. And it was like really depressing to me as a woman to like watch all of that go down. And I was like, ooh.
You're like, when is this gonna shift?
I know. I was like, please, can we go back to when she was like a happy sorority girl?
But even when she was a happy sorority girl, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for her.
It wasn't. No, it never is.
Yeah, it never is. No. And we just have to assume that it will be. But here's what I like about The Butterfly Effect. I feel like it was just one of those films that was kind of a smaller film that made you think long after the movie was over. And I didn't expect much going into it because I was like, Ashton Kutcher, Amy Smart, I don't know what I'm gonna get. This is a sci-fi film. What's happening? Yeah. But I feel like, we're talking about it now. It's something that has stuck with me. And I just feel the way that they were able to do the time manipulation was really smart as well. So I don't know. What did you think about the time manipulation?
I liked that. I liked that. Like I said, I just think, and I do that a lot. I think like if I hadn't have made that decision or taken that job or done this or that, what would my life be like? So this
like
is
a sliding door scenario.
Sliding door scenario. So this, which is a movie that I've not seen, but
so great.
I saw it on Netflix with Gwyneth Paltrow, and she's like, buy a sliding door, and it's called Sliding Doors. And I'm like, is that about doors? Apparently, it's about time travel. So
alternate reality. I don't know if that's necessarily time travel, but it's alternate reality.
Yeah. It's manipulation of things and time and space and scenarios. So yeah, I liked that it showed all the different ways that your life could go wrong or right depending on a moment, a decision, a single instance. So I think about that a lot in real life.
Yeah, if you change one thing, like how that affects the rest of your life, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. It's depressing to think about though.
It is depressing.
We cannot go back. We cannot change things. We are in the here and now. And if you constantly think about, well, if I had done that, my life would have been better or different, or I wouldn't have ended up with this person, or I wouldn't have this or met him or whatever, like freaks me out.
That freaks me out too. I don't want to think about all those things.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Life is good,
but listen,
we're alive.
I will say The Butterfly Effect 2, terrible. Don't watch that. Don't watch that.
Didn't see it.
Erica Durance is in it, and I love her. Erica Durance played Lois Lane on Smallville.
Oh.
She's like one of my favorite actresses. I thought she was really great. Says, increase Stacy's mic, please. Thank you. I know you saw that too. Or just get it closer to your mouth, Stacey.
Okay.
And so Erica Durance,
so much for her.
I know. It does.
I'm not sure what you guys mean.
What could we possibly be talking about?
Sorry, I never bring it to my mic, or I never bring it to my mouth. I'm sorry. I'm an expressive person. I get handsy, you guys. Okay.
Yes. So Erica Durance is one of the main characters in The Butterfly Effect 2, which I watched because I love her. But it's not good. It is not good.
Janine Bryce said there's an alternate ending, had him killing himself in his mother's womb.
That is really dark. I'm glad that was not in the movie. And that would be actually kind of creepy just thinking about like what the logistics.
How did he kill himself in the womb?
Like did he have strangling with the umbilical cord somehow? That's how I would guess it.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I would guess. I mean, what else? He has a little gun in there.
Yeah, what does he have, like a baby shake or something? I don't know. I don't know how babies grow.
Wow. Okay. On that note, let's move it on to maybe a happier time travel film. Do you want to go with one?
Sure.
What's happy?
What's happy?
Oh, about
it's about time to talk about time.
That's right, it is.
This is one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time, and it's about time that we give it praise because Sorry. It is not a romantic comedy just about his romance. It's about his relationship with everyone in his life. His parents, his sister, coworkers, the woman that he loves, and the time travel part of it is really just a means to kind of move the story along. It's not actually part of the plot. So it just shows you, whether you could go back in time or not, you need to live each moment as if it's your last and appreciate all the people in your life. It's really sweet, incredible chemistry between everyone involved. Donald Gleason, Margot Robbie. This is the first time I saw her. Yes. I was like, good for you, girl. Bill Nye. I forget who plays his sister, and then of course Rachel McAdams, America's fave. It's just
America's sweetheart.
America's sweetheart. America's fave. It's incredible. It's such a sweet little movie. I was blown away by this. I saw it saying, it's gonna be like a cheesy. No, it's fucking great, you guys. Really, really great premise, writing, everything.
I saw it because you told me to see it.
Yes.
And I loved it. I am glad that I watched it. I love the scenes between him and his father. I also love that there's consequences for his time travel at some point, and you're like, oh, you did that, and now this changed something. Yeah. And so now you're learning more about your skill and how it can hurt you effectively.
Yeah.
If you use it incorrectly.
Right.
And there are rules.
There are rules to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So and he follows
them. I like that. Yeah. I find Rachel McAdams to be very charming. And I just think it's funny, like how he keeps trying to perfect certain things with her and will keep going back.
Yeah.
So that he can like redo it.
That's funny.
And it's pretty hilarious.
How is he not exhausted after all that? Does he get tired? Like, is it like he hasn't rested?
Yeah. Right. There's that too. Because he's got to, obviously he's not jumping around all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's got to get tired.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how time travel is possible just in general.
And he doesn't run into his alternate self or his past self. So it's like it's his real body going back.
Yes.
Yeah. That might be the argument, though. Like, because it's basically his mind going back into his old body. So, like, he has the energy that he would have had at that point in time, maybe.
There you go. That's a good explanation.
Interesting.
Good explanation.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I like that thought. And on that thought, let's move to another one that's it's romantic, but it's not a comedy, and that's Somewhere in Time.
This
Yes. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because it's one of those movies that like it would have been on like a Sunday afternoon. Yes. And my mom would have been like, oh my God, I love this movie. Let's watch Somewhere in Time. And I like wasn't really paying attention the whole time. I just remember it's Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour. Something to do. He goes back in time to like the early 1900s. He's got a penny. And he sees the penny, and
don't give away everything.
That's what I mean. Is that I don't remember any of the details, but I just remember thinking, "Mom, can we please watch like Muppet Babies or something? I don't want to watch this." And she was like, "No."
Here's the thing. So Somewhere in Time, I do love, but it's super slow. It's the build up to get him back in time is so long that you're like, "What are we doing? And why are we still in this act?" Like the whole first act is him trying to get back in time, and not necessarily understanding that he's trying to get back in. So there's so many paradox things that happen with this movie. The whole movie's a paradox. There's no way it just would like happen because it's like, oh, he goes back in time because he's triggered by this. Well, that wouldn't have happened if he didn't go back in time in the first place. So it's all a big circle that's like, nope.
Yeah.
No.
Like it was all just in his mind. Or was it? Because I don't know. I loved the costumes. It looked like they spread Vaseline over the camera lens because they were constantly all kind of like blurry dreary and candlelight lit. And they looked, everyone looked beautiful because it was all like I said, just kind of smeared. The entire thing looked like a soap opera.
I feel like Jane Seymour was like height of her powers, like beautiful.
For sure.
In this.
Oh my gosh, she was so, and in that like early 1900s little like updo that they used to do, which if I had to do an updo, I need it to be like that. I don't like tight because then you can see my big ears. But if I were to do like,
I did one like that.
I want
for some event. Maybe it was a prom. I don't know.
It needs to be like this, so it's like high, but it's like really loose. right? So that's what you need. Look how pretty I am.
You're gorgeous. You are gorgeous.
Thank you. So I love that hairstyle, and I feel like if I wanted to live at any time other than this time, it'd be like the early 1900s. I'd be like a suffragette, just like fighting for rights, but still looking fucking fierce. And I'd be like working for a
I
living.
wouldn't want to go too far back in time because of certain technologies and like food issues. Like I wouldn't want to go to like Laura Ingalls Wilder time. Like that would not be appealing to me.
I wouldn't want to go to the time where they were still throwing their piss and poop out of the window.
Right. You want to have a working toilet.
Yeah, I want to which they didn't in the 1900s. So I don't know why I'm saying that. Yeah.
Or if you were rich enough, then you had all these like people that could serve you.
Yeah.
Also known as servants.
Also known as servants. This is what I want. Because I've read so many romance novels of like young, heiress women in the 1800s that would have a season. They would call it a season where you come out, you have a ball, you come out and you go to all these dances and social things and everything to find a husband. That's what I would want, because they would like party all night long and like wake up at noon and like go for a walk in the park to show off their new dress or horse or whatever. And it just seemed like everything was dandy. So I'd want to be like a duke's daughter in the season of her youth in the ton in London. That's what I want.
Wow.
And then obviously come back here with iPhones and everything. I want to go there for like 3 months. Like 3 months is fine.
Just visit for a little bit.
Just visit.
And return. All right.
Okay.
Your turn. Your turn to pick one.
So, well, speaking of, going into your favorite time, into your, it's called like the golden age syndrome, where you think your time isn't the best, you want to go somewhere else. We're gonna go with Midnight in Paris. This is probably my favorite Woody Allen film. I struggle with saying that. I hate to say that I like Woody Allen films, but I do love this one, and it's because of the cast. If you had to pick anybody to play, F. Scott Fitzgerald, is that his name?
Right? Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, I feel like, is perfect. Alison Pill is wonderful as his wife. What's her first name?
Daisy? I don't know.
No, that's from.
Oh, it's
that's for the Great Gatsby.
It's Zelda.
Zelda Fitzgerald.
Yes, because there's that Z, the series with Christina Ricci, which I really want to watch. What is it? Netflix, Hulu? I don't know which one.
No, Amazon Prime.
Oh yes, yeah,
it's
a good one. They were showing it on the Dry Bar, and I was reading the subtitles. I was like, I like this.
Nice.
What's happening here?
Because she was like the original. Like, I think she did love him. But she also wanted to be famous herself and be a writer and kind of be in that world. So she was like, you and me, we're going to do this. You're going to write. I'm going to make you socially successful. We're going to be invited to all the best parties and be known about town for being that couple. So she had her own like achievements she wanted and successes, which there's nothing wrong with that. Yes. So I really liked her in the film. I thought Owen Wilson was the perfect, kind of like everyman to be, going back. Yeah,
going
forth.
Back.
And I loved Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams yet again.
Again.
Oh my gosh, she's in another one that I'm going to talk about.
She's in About Time. She's in Midnight in Paris, which everyone loves in Midnight in Paris. What, Ben?
Rachel McAdams. I was just going to say Rachel McAdams is really underappreciated. That's why.
True.
Yes.
True. Yeah. And she's also in another movie that you're about to talk about.
The Time Traveler's Wife, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on this show, we talk about movies we like and movies we don't like. And this is a movie I don't like, but I saw it and I was like, why? I have never I really like the trope of time travel in movies. I find it interesting. This is one where I was like, nope, no, I don't find this interesting. I don't like that every time he travels, he like ends up naked. Like, I just didn't understand why.
It's like the Terminator. You can't take anything,
I guess,
but organic matter with you.
Yeah.
Something.
It's something like that. But anyways, and then I just didn't understand him meeting her as a little kid. And
that
then
creeped me out.
Now I've had a feeling that he didn't first meet her as a little kid, but he went back to see her when she was younger. But I don't really know for sure. But everything about, I don't know. Feel like him leaping through time, but then also them having a child, and then is this child going to leap through time? Like there was that question, and does the child have this time traveling gene? I feel like just don't get involved with someone that time travels. How about that? Just don't.
You can't trust them.
Just don't. And there's just a horrible scene as to how certain things or certain people or whatever end, and I was just like, why did we do this? Why is this choice being made? I don't know. I haven't read the book, but is this how it ended in the book? And if so, I would have been angry if I was reading it and I was like, what did I just read? And I'm glad I just saw the movie. I don't know if it's any different. But,
I just love.
I couldn't stand it. But
Eric
Rachel
Bana.
McAdams isn't.
Rachel McAdams is amazing, and Eric Bana is just incredible in anything he does.
That's true. I mean, they're great together. They had good chemistry. That's not the problem here. The problem here is the story sucks.
You could also count what's Rachel McAdams in Channing Tatum's movie where she's in a car accident?
Oh yes, The Proposal. Is it The Proposal?
No,
Ben. The Vow.
The Vow. You could also count that as time travel because technically she time travels back to years before. She doesn't remember all this, so she doesn't physically time travel. No, but in her mind, she is back in time. So that's another one.
Interesting.
Rachel McAdams.
No.
Yes, Ben.
No.
Just let me have
technically.
this.
No.
Let me have this one thing.
Amnesia is time travel, guys. You heard it here first.
Yep.
All right. Personal time travel.
TM.
There we go.
Time is still the same.
Time traveler's wife. I'm going to scratch this off my list. We talked about it. Your turn.
Talked about it. All right. I also want to talk about Kate Leopold. You guys.
Never seen it. Never seen it. But I love Hugh Jackman.
Precious.
And I love Meg Ryan.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman, Meg Ryan. Also, Liev Schreiber plays his kooky neighbor, who he's the one that is like manipulating time.
Okay.
And he like accidentally brings Hugh Jackman into like 2001, 2002 New York, whatever year it came out in. And I watched this with my boyfriend. He loved this movie because he loves like fish out of water stories.
Yes, those are great.
So the fact that Hugh Jackman is like in his like fancy man Lord Farquaad whatever clothes running around New York, and also he was like the inventor of the elevator. So then when he comes through time, it's like he never existed then. So then there's no elevators because he wasn't there to invent them. And I'm like,
cute.
Someone would have eventually invented elevators.
Probably. You're right. Someone else would have done it.
Someone else would have done it. However, so everyone has to take the stairs. So there's always like quirky little things, but he really he loved Liev Schreiber in it because he's really funny in this movie. This was before he was like, I guess is he a star? And now he's a star in my eyes. I love Liev Schreiber. But yeah, this was before Hugh Jackman was a star. Everyone. So Meg Ryan was like the big go-to. But it's a great fish out of water story. Really funny, really quirky, really cute, and I mean, everyone's in love with Hugh Jackman in the movie, which makes total sense. He's Hugh Jackman.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say his first like American film was X-Men, but this came out before, but it was not made like, I don't know. It was internationally made, I guess. I don't know what the story is behind that.
Yeah.
I thought this came out before. Maybe it didn't. Maybe X-Men came out first. I don't know.
I think it was made before, but it came out after. Maybe.
Anyways. Maybe. I didn't write any of that down, so I don't have it for you.
Came out a year before.
There we go. That's why. That's why.
Okay.
Ah, good times.
All right, what else?
Kate and Leopold. I need to see it. I'm gonna hope that it's on Netflix or something that I can watch easily.
It's somewhere. It is somewhere.
It's definitely somewhere. Let's talk about something you haven't seen, which is Happy Death Day, which came out recently. Now, I think you would like this, and the reason I think you would like it is because it is a Groundhog's Day sort of scenario, but with a horror film. And like, how often do you see that happening?
Not very.
Not often.
I heard it was
enough.
Really good and interesting. And
yeah, you're trying to figure out the mystery of like who is the murderer, and like if you can figure that out, maybe it'll change this. Maybe it'll stop this cycle. You know, the whole point is like stopping the cycle, right? We got to figure out how to do that. Other movies that do this that I appreciate are Source Code, as well as Edge of Tomorrow and or Live, Die, Repeat. Why did they change that?
I don't know. It's very confusing.
It is very confusing.
It's
Kate and Leopold's on Hulu. Thank you, MK Songbird.
They changed it because Edge of Tomorrow didn't do well in theaters, and they thought it was because they weren't effectively advertising what it was about. So they switched it to what at the time was like the movie slogan on the posters, which was "Live, Die, Repeat," because they thought that would convey what the story's about better, which it kind of does. But Edge of Tomorrow is a much better sounding name. And honestly, like
based on a book,
if they just had trailers that effectively conveyed what the movie was about, they could have kept Edge of Tomorrow, but they didn't.
Oh well. Well, I saw it in theaters, and I loved it in theaters. I mean, it has Tom Cruise. How can you say it's not effectively marketed?
Yeah, and also Emily Blunt, you guys, a badass, a badass.
Is Tom Cruise really a pole nowadays, though?
He still is. Not maybe not here, but overseas he is.
That's fair.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
He's on Instagram now, you guys. You can follow him.
I gotta check that out.
Okay.
Gotta check that out.
It's all just Mission Impossible stills. It's not really his personal life, but he's never been one to share his personal life.
That's true.
Really. He's very private.
Your turn. Your turn, lady.
Okay.
I have like two more, I think.
I think I have two more as well.
And then honorable mention.
We have to talk Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Of course we do.
Guys, come on. It's just a funny premise. And the fact that it was like two dudes who were like improv stand-up comedian guys that did this as a bit at, comedy clubs and stuff were able to create this into a film. At least that's a story that I've heard, how it got made.
Here's a trivia question. Name two historic figures that they bring with them.
Napoleon and Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. Very good. Very good. You did it. You passed. Congratulations.
Got on to the next round.
I would have gone with Genghis Khan and Joan of Arc.
Oh, Joan of Arc's with them. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love that this brought Keanu Reeves into the forefront of being the clueless, everyman leading handsome actor.
Yes.
In films. He deserves all of his success. He is a warm and lovely human being from all accounts that I've heard, and he's given away like all of his money to everyone because he's like, sure, I don't need all
what
this.
does he need all of it for? It makes sense.
Yeah.
I would hope that people do that.
Yeah.
I did see the other day a Ferrari parked on like one of the main streets here in town, and I was like, someone is very reckless to just park it on a street.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Put that in a spot somewhere.
Yeah.
Put that in a parking lot.
Put that protected. But was it in public? I mean, I feel like if it had been stolen or something, everyone would see.
It's not that kind of street.
I'd want it on a street more than I would want it in a parking lot. Like a busy street, like it's on like Hollywood.
It's not like
Boulevard.
This is Rodeo Drive or something. Like Rodeo Drive, people
in, like,
purposefully like park on the street in Rodeo Drive for some reason. I don't know. For just status. Who knows?
Show off.
But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Wild Stallions.
Wild Stallions is amazing. And pop quiz, what's the band that they love that they want the lead singer to come join them?
Shit. It's not Guns N' Roses, is it? I'm just gonna go with Guns N' Roses. Who is it?
It's Van Halen.
Ah, and I think that makes sense.
Is it Eddie Vedder?
Pasadena.
Or what's that's the lead singer from Van Halen. No, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. No.
What? Who's the lead
it's
singer
Van Halen.
From Van Halen that they want to join their band? I think it's Eddie Van Halen, but I don't know.
That makes sense. I think that.
Someone please tell me. Yeah, ask Mark.
Will know. He will know.
Mark will know this for sure. Oh yeah, that's right. George Carlin's in it too. Oh man, it's just
so many greats.
So many greats. And
yeah, they want Van Halen.
Yeah, they want Van Halen to play with them. But they want, but the lead singer saw the movie and was like, I totally would have, played with them. Eddie Vedder,
Eddie
Pearl
Van
Jam,
Halen.
David Lee Roth, or Sammy Hagar. Eddie Van Halen.
You got it right.
I knew it. See, I fucking knew it. Yeah. Good little movie, good time, brought Keanu Reeves into the forefront, and then we got Point Break.
Wait, what was the other guy's name? What's the other actor? Why do I always forget it? Because he's not in a lot of stuff. Every single time I'm like, who is that guy? And it's not Barry Pepper, but it looks like Barry Pepper.
It's not. And I love Barry Pepper. Barry Pepper is a great actor. He got a bad rap from what's his name? Ben?
Alex Winter.
Alex Winter. Why do I forget that?
I should know that.
I need to think Ariel Winter, Alex Winter. That's my thought process going through. That's how it would work because I know who Ariel Winter is.
Into Brienne's Schmoedown preparation.
I just have to connect it somehow, and then it'll.
That's like
and then it'll come out.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Michael Scott in The Office, where he makes all those weird notes, and he's like, "Green means go, so I need to go ahead and not talk about this." That is the line.
Totally.
Connection.
Okay, next I'm gonna go with have you seen Primer or however you want to say it? I say Primer, but then people are like Primer, and I'm like, I don't care. Guess what? I don't care. It's spelled the same.
Guess what? I put primer on my face.
That's right.
Primer on my face.
That's right. Makeup. Now this is a little movie by the same guy that did Upstream Color,
which is weird as fuck.
And man, it's so so you have seen it or you have not? Or
I
you
haven't seen Primer. I have seen Upstream Color.
Got it.
And it bent my mind in weird ways, and I was like, I'm not ready for Primer. Like,
really?
I've never been in a good moment to be ready for Primer.
All right.
Primer is like when you have the afternoon.
It's pretty cool because it's kind of like they're making copies of themselves in a way, and so when you see it, it's just this weird bend of time. And I love that if you have seen the movie and you're like, I don't really understand how this time travel works, there's definitely a thing that you can look up on Google that will show you like infographic, is that what you'd call it, of how the timeline works and how it's in this circle, but then it like offshoots and does this weird thing. So yeah, it's really good. I mean, there's not a lot that I can say about it aside from their actual time machine like is in a storage unit, which is kind of weird. So when they want to travel, they gotta go to the storage unit to do it. But
I mean, I do want to see it, but again, I just feel like I need like an afternoon off to like process it all, which the afternoon off in my life does not exist right now. So
the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
So there you go. Any more on yours?
I think I had one more.
I think it's Looper.
I had Looper and I had 13 going on 30.
Okay. You decide which one you want to do first.
I'll do 13 going on 30 and then we can both do Looper because that's on
perfect
too, right?
Yes. And I only have one more after this.
Cool. 13 going on 30. It's not necessarily time travel, but she's young and then she jumps forward and is 30 years old.
Big.
Yeah, like big. It's like big. So I think this movie is so quaint and cute, and it's where people really discovered Jennifer Garner as like a rom-com person because she was on Alias before this. She was known as like a badass chick, and then she did this adorable little movie. Mark Ruffalo.
I love Mark Ruffalo.
Okay, it's good times. Is it Judy Greer?
Yep,
I've gotten compared to her a lot, which she's funny. She's always like the best friend in every rom-com.
The Judy Greer effect. Did you read that? There's like something called the Judy Greer effect.
What's
and
that?
How it's just like she's a really great actress, but she's always limited to like being the best friend, and it just doesn't make sense. Like she's been pigeonholed into that.
I want her to break out of that. I want her to be the lead. She's like a mom, like a trailer park mom who's trying to save her child from like the ex-husband who kidnapped her, and it's like a real just gritty indie drama. That'd be good. Judy Greer, I'm calling out you. It's like the perfect early 2000s rom-com movie when all of those were going around. This and like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and 27 Dresses. That is all gone kind of. Those are not the big films.
No, they don't do those anymore.
They don't do those
because
anymore.
of superhero movies. They took over. They took over. They took the budget over. They're like, we got to do these films. They are going to be big budgets. So we don't have time for those $50 million films.
There's no mid film. It's either you have a budget of $200 million or 20 cents. I mean, there's
200,000 million.
Yeah. So it's
Who
the
knows?
biggest budget ever, or it's shoestring and you're doing your own makeup, honey, because we ain't got the money. That's it. There's no mid-level movies anymore. But this is a prime example of those movies at the height of their power. The bread and butter of the box office at this time was those rom-coms. And it's the last of the good ones. Yeah.
I miss those. Yeah. Let's talk about another one. Not a rom-com, but could be if you try hard enough, and that's The Lake House.
The Lake House.
The Lake House, starring Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. This is the second time you've seen them together as a quasi couple on screen. What's the first time?
Speed.
Yes. Very good. Very good. You passed.
What's up?
You passed.
Get those answers.
The lake house is interesting because it's like the mailbox is kind of the time travel component.
Yeah. The mailbox is the George Carlin of the lake house.
And I'm like, people wrote letters? That's weird. That's weird back in this time. You were telling me some trivia that there's only 2 years between them.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense, like why they would stick around like writing. Why wouldn't they just be like, oh, well, if it's 2 years, let's just meet somewhere. I guess that kind of what happens, but like dinner. I feel like we could have gotten to that earlier. Like, and what is this mailbox? And
it's like, it's magic. It's the magic of a lake house.
You're going to plant a tree, but 2 years later, a tree wouldn't be as big as it became. Now this is making me frustrated.
Did the tree grow through the lake house? Was that it? Was
there was something about a tree. I don't think it wasn't in the lake house. There's something where he plants a tree, and then like all of a sudden there's a tree. But it wouldn't have grown that high up in 2 years. Is
you don't
what I'm
think
saying.
so?
No. It like becomes a fully mature tree.
I think like 3 years. Like it takes a tree 3 years to grow to fully mature, right? I don't know. Ben, how long does it take trees to grow?
Into a mature tree. Maybe look up 3 years. Maybe look up like tree at 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to see.
Toddler tree.
Some trees are slow growers, taking 20 to 30 years to reach full size, and some are fast, taking 10 to 15 years.
See? This does not add up.
Maybe it was like what's the big trees in our forest that we have, the big redwoods. Maybe it was like a redwood. So
it was
it's
not
really small, and then it grew to like just a baby tree, but it looks big compared to other trees.
It's not though.
It could be a redwood.
It's not a redwood.
I'm saying it might be a redwood.
Anyways, let us know what kind of tree this is.
Okay. Anyway, this movie is so dumb. And it's so depressing. It really is. And they don't have chemistry because they're never together.
They're never together.
But they're at one party together and they like make out on a swing.
It doesn't make sense.
15? What are you doing?
You got to listen to How Did This Get Made episode of The Lake House, which is a podcast by Paul Scheer and June Diane Rayfield and
Jason Mantzoukas.
Yes, so many great people.
That's what I want our podcast to be.
Wouldn't it be great?
Wouldn't it be lovely if we were just as popular as How Did This Get Made?
Sure. It would be lovely. And then we sold out Largo all the time.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, come join us at Largo, you guys. We didn't rent out the venue. We can just like stand in front of the building.
Someone actually hired us to do this.
Yeah.
That's right. Because they're like, we need tickets to be sold and we need something to fill this space.
Yeah. And we'd be like, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it.
So the lake house, everyone. I don't know how it works. Obviously, there's Magic Tree House. Oh, those are good. That's a good series, by the way. Did you ever read Magic Tree House?
Maybe. I probably did.
It's a kid's series of books, and I read it to my daughter. But it's really cute, like the Treehouse time travels.
I want to make it into a live action.
It needs to be like a Netflix series.
Yeah, like a Netflix, Amazon, kind of like whimsical in a way that kids can enjoy it, but it has a bit more of like not gritty, but just those movies and TV shows that are whimsical and fun for kids, but still like an adult can appreciate. I want that kind of vibe.
I got you.
I was good.
You know what? I was watching this series Barbie Life in the Dream House, which is a animated series on Netflix. And
why are you watching?
Okay, well, my daughter was watching it.
Oh, I see.
And I kind of like am listening in, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. The Best of the Dream House. Like, if you decide you're gonna watch this, watch The Best of the Dream House. The first like 8 minutes, I was like dying on the floor, like
because it was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was funny. It was funny. Anyways, that's a diatribe. Here we go. Your last one, which was Looper, which we both have on our list, or mine's kind of secondary.
I really liked Looper because all the physical ways they describe time travel and time manipulation I thought was really interesting. Like the young man is like affecting his body so that the old man can then see it and they can communicate that way. I thought that was super interesting.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Good.
And the prosthetics that they did on him to make him look
his
like
nose. Yeah.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
It looked really good.
And Emily Blunt once again.
Once again, just a powerhouse, great performance, good in drama, good in comedies,
good in everything,
good in horror and action. She can do fucking everything. Why is Emily Blunt not president at this point? That's what I want to know. John can be there too. John can be Secretary of State. Her husband, John Krasinski.
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
I feel like this movie, is this another paradox situation? Like there's too many paradoxes in this, and so people are like,
yeah, they can't.
I mean, I love it. I just go with it. So that's nice. I like to just go on the journey and not really question too many things sometimes.
Yeah, if you think about it too much, time travel never makes sense because like they keep talking about alternate realities, but if you go back in time, then it was never a reality in the first place. You wouldn't remember that this is alternate to what you know and all this stuff. So yeah. Oh, and then they're in the diner, and then JGL and Bruce Willis are talking about, well, how do you? I mean, the second I decide to do something, you're gonna know it. He's like, I remember it after you do it, and I'm like, wait, what? It was like a throwaway one-liner to try and explain the whole like the young JGL doing something, and then Bruce Willis would have immediately known. But it's like once he decides, then he knows. But it's like, no, what happened in the past, you should know already. It doesn't make sense.
You know what else bothered me about that movie?
What?
Like I like Looper a lot.
I really
but there's
like
the scene when in the future they're trying to send Bruce Willis's character back in time to be killed, and then he fights them off and then goes back in time, and it's like that's why it's offset, so it all goes wrong. But it's like it's time travel. Him taking longer to be sent back in the future shouldn't change the point in time he sent back to.
Yeah,
it was just weird. So like there's a scene where Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is like waiting. He's like, oh, that's weird, he hasn't gotten back yet. But it's like, what?
Yeah. Why is it like it should that like that would have already been?
Because he goes back in time anyway.
Yeah.
So and it's like it's presumably programmed for that point in time. So like just because he fought these guys off and took longer to get sent back shouldn't have.
It should have already been that way.
Yeah, he should have still gotten back to the same point that he was scheduled to go back to. There's no reason for it to have taken longer for him to show up than was expected. That's not how time travel works, unless it's like a wormhole from one point in time to the other, and it's constantly moving.
You're thinking
along
way
a line.
too much about
I like time travel.
Yes,
I'm a screenwriter.
It hurts my brain to try and work through all of it. But that's also why I love the movies, because they explore all these different options. And that's why there's so many time travel movies. And they're like, well, how would it work? And what would it affect?
The final one that I do want to just mention before we close it up is Timeline, because I feel like it's one of those time travel movies that isn't talked about a lot. I doubt you've seen it. I doubt Ben's seen it. This is starring Paul Walker. And
Paul.
Yeah, and it's they go back to like this medieval, they figure out time travel has happened because they knew that they find these glasses in this, like, I don't know, not architectural, but this dig that they're doing, archaeological dig. And so they know, oh, these are my dad's glasses, like he must have traveled back. How are we going to find him or rescue him or something like that? So it's interesting. It's not that great, but I thought the concept was interesting. So I liked that. I have another little tidbit. In the movie, he wears the sweatshirt and it says Ocean View on it. And I was like, that is from La Cañada. There's a small store called Ocean View Board Sports. And it is from that. And I bet he was like, I want to wear this because it's from my hometown. So
is that where it's from?
Yeah. What perfect place to wear this but here. So there you go. Timeline. It's a worth checking out, but it's not great.
When did it come out? What was the year? Like
the year that it no, it was 2005, I want to say.
Wow.
Or
why did I
something
think he was
like that?
A teenager,
because it really young. Yeah, it's got to be between 2002 and 2009. So I'm gonna go with 2005. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
We're gonna give it that today. All right.
Timeline.
So there we go. Let's just go through all the movies that we've talked about today. Okay. So we have kind of a rundown of it.
All right.
You may begin.
We first talked about Back to the Future 3. Then The Butterfly Effect. Then Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Midnight in Paris, Kate and Leopold, 13 Going on 30, Looper, and About Time.
Also, we discussed Primer,
Somewhere
in Time, Happy Death Day with Source Code and Edge of Tomorrow, The Time Traveler's Wife, The Lake House, and a little brief discussion on Timeline. So there you go.
Good discussions today.
Yeah.
Good discussion.
Yeah. I agree. Stacy, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and Snapchat, on everything at Stacy O Howard. No E, no I, just Y. Was that a Y that I made?
It could have been. Could have been a Y.
Okay, where can we find you?
You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. If you're in town, I'll be at the live Schmodown tomorrow. Hey. And that is about it.
All right.
I think that's it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next week, next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.